For the record, I believe Dad's best advice was always, God, he would help me work on cars and stuff like that when I was young, and he was such a natural with anything mechanical. He was the quintessential machine man. But he would say, "Get over here and focus, son. You're letting me do it. You got to get in here and focus." And he would always say, "There's only two ways you can ever work this stuff out. You can either learn how to fix this car, fix this motorcycle, fix this jet ski, whatever it is, or you can get rich and you can pay people to fix it for you. There's no third way, son. There's only those two ways." And man, that advice from Dad hits home on so many levels, doesn't it? Doesn't it, Luke?
Yes, yes. And what kind of relationship did you have with your father? So if I had to score mine, I'd say it was about a 2 or a 3 out of 10.
Mm. Uh, mine would be higher than that. If I'm upset with him, it's that he set the bar so high for what being a man is that I couldn't do it. I had a lazy streak running down my back. So even if I was like willing to work 7 or 8 hours a day or whatever, man, I wanted to bitch about it internally. But he was like a machine. He would take off in the morning at 7 a.m. He'd come in at night at 7 p.m. Um, he'd have homework because he was the boss. So he would have to do like personnel stuff for a couple hours every night. And then he'd usually have from like 9 to 11 like time for himself. And then he would go to bed. And what he would do is he'd fall asleep trying to get that 2 hours worth of time for himself. And maybe I would get to conversate with him for 5-10 minutes during that time. But then he'd be down for the count and he'd start snoring so loud you couldn't pay attention to what was on TV. So I'd send him to bed, and like a machine at like 6:45 in the morning, that alarm of his to go beep, 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 beep. And he'd repeat the whole process. He'd repeat it all. And then Saturday would come around, and that thing would go off again at 6:45, and he'd go hunting or something. And it'd go off Sunday, and he'd go fishing or whatever. It never stopped, Luke. And I don't know. I don't know how a normal guy living in the world of the easy button is supposed to be able to like do that, but I wasn't it.